Okay, let's just jump right into this explainer. We're looking at what is genuinely, without exaggeration, one of the greatest financial transformations in human history, and it's happening right now across West Africa. We're going to explore how an entire region is completely redefining the future of money. They aren't just bending the traditional rules, they are literally rewriting them from the ground up.
To really wrap our heads around the scale of this thing, we've got to look at the starting point. For decades, traditional banking systems just flat out struggled to serve everyone. We're talking about roughly 350 million adults across Africa, effectively locked out of the financial system. I mean, think about that number. Why? Well, vast distances to the nearest branch, endless mountains of paperwork, and fees that were just way too high for everyday earners. Millions of people were essentially just excluded from the global economy. But what if the answer wasn't building thousands of expensive brick-and-mortar bank branches? What if the solution to all that financial exclusion was literally sitting right there in your pocket? When mobile phone ownership exploded across Africa, it created this massive, unprecedented opportunity. Suddenly, folks who had never even set foot in a bank had a remarkably powerful communication device right in the palm of their hands.
So here's how we're mapping out today's explainer. First, the mobile money revolution. Second, why West Africa takes the lead. Third, enter crypto and blockchain. Fourth, bridging those local and global networks. And finally, number 5, we'll look at the opportunities, risks, and what tomorrow holds. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the mobile money revolution.
Money fundamentally does 3 things. It's a medium of exchange, a store of value, and a unit of account. We've shifted from trading livestock to using cowrie shells in many parts of Africa, all the way to paper currency backed by governments. But notice that very last jump. Instead of waiting around for traditional banking infrastructure to finally catch up, millions of people just leapfrogged the old system entirely. They went straight to the digital wallets on their mobile phones. Talk about a shortcut, right?
And that massive leapfrog is exactly what we call mobile money. It is elegantly simple. It's just a digital wallet connected to your phone. There's no bank branch to visit, no standing in long queues for hours, and absolutely no heavy paperwork. You just walk up to a local mobile money agent, who basically acts as the crucial bridge between physical cash and digital value. You hand them your cash, and boom, instantly that exact value appears in your mobile wallet. You can instantly send it to a relative miles away, pay your utility bills, or buy airtime. To put that into perspective, these networks are now processing well over $2 billion a single day. $2 billion. That's absolutely huge.
Moving right along to Section 2, West Africa takes the lead. So why West Africa specifically? Well, the region has this incredibly unique cocktail of advantages. It's home to one of the youngest populations in the world, a whole generation that's super tech-savvy, totally comfortable with digital tools, and importantly, not tied down to older financial habits. Add in the absolute explosion of mobile phones and a super vibrant scene of agile fintech startups. But you know what the absolute biggest driver is here? Necessity. Faced with crazy high transaction costs, currency fluctuations, and really difficult cross-border trade, the people of West Africa simply didn't wait for the old systems to save them. They just went ahead and built entirely new digital solutions to solve their everyday problems. Which brings us to Section 3, enter crypto and blockchain. Now, I really want you to think of blockchain not as some wildly complex speculative gamble, but honestly just as a highly secure digital record book. That's all it is. But unlike a traditional bank's ledger, which is controlled by one central authority behind closed doors, this record book is completely decentralized. It's distributed across this vast global network of computers. And because of that, it is incredibly transparent and practically impossible to alter in secret. This shared notebook analogy brilliantly illustrates exactly how the blockchain works. Imagine a physical notebook that is shared by thousands of people at once. When someone sends digital money, like say Bitcoin or Ethereum, a brand new entry is written into this shared notebook. Instantly, thousands of copies of this notebook are updated across the entire network. Because literally everyone has a copy, if one bad actor tries to cheat and tweak a record, the rest of the network is going to look at their copies and just reject it. It creates total trust without ever needing a middleman. Now notice the contrast here, because really understanding the difference between these two technologies is absolutely key. Think of mobile money as your local bridge. It's tied to your local currency, like the Naira or the CD, and it's widely accepted by local merchants for all your everyday purchases. Cryptocurrency, on the flip side, acts as your borderless global highway. It allows for instant global transactions, often using what we call stablecoins, which are just digital assets linked to stable currencies like the US dollar, so you don't have to stress about those wild price swings. Let's dive into Section 4, Bridging Local and Global. Let's look at a super practical example. Meet Kofi, a graphic designer based in Ghana. Let's say Kofi lands a new client all the way over in Canada. Under the old traditional banking system, getting paid would involve incredibly high fees, a bunch of middlemen, and literal days of waiting. But today, Kofi's client just sends a crypto payment right down that global highway. Kofi receives it instantly in his digital wallet in Ghana. Now, Kofi can't exactly buy his everyday groceries with crypto just yet, right? So he uses a quick exchange service to convert those digital stablecoins into local currency directly into his mobile money account. Then, he just uses his local bridge to pay his rent and buy his food. It's seamless. And this synergy is a real game changer. It directly empowers so many different segments of the economy. We're talking freelancers and remote workers like Kofi, small business owners who can now easily accept international payments, cross-border traders who no longer have to lug around dangerous amounts of physical cash, and even content creators monetizing global audiences. They're all finally gaining access to a global digital economy that used to be completely blocked off by traditional banking borders. And that brings us to our final section, number 5, opportunities, risks, and tomorrow. Okay, I want to rapid fire through some of these realities because at the end of the day, financial literacy is your absolute best defense. With mobile money, you've got to keep an eye out for fraud, like those fake customer support callers asking for your PIN, or SIM swaps, where criminals try to hijack your actual phone number. Your best protection? Simple, strong passwords and two-factor authentication. Over in the crypto space, the risks shift a bit toward market volatility and, crucially, losing your private keys. Remember, a private key is literally the master password to your global vault. If you lose it, that's it, the funds are gone. So continuous education, making secure offline backups, and leaning on stablecoins are going to be your ultimate protections here. Looking at the roadmap for tomorrow, the integration of new tech is seriously going to make this entire ecosystem faster, cheaper, and way safer. We're going to see artificial intelligence heavily utilized to detect fraud in real time. We'll also see the rollout of highly secure digital identity systems, which is huge because it solves the massive headache of proving who you are when you're trying to open accounts or get a loan. Combine all of that with expanding smartphone adoption deep into rural areas, and the result? A massive, unprecedented leap in global financial inclusion. Ultimately, what we're seeing here is that West Africa isn't just passively adopting global financial trends. Not at all. Through sheer innovation and absolute necessity, the region is actively shaping a future where financial services are available to absolutely everyone. It's proving that technology is at its absolute most powerful when it creates real opportunities for ordinary people, taking a traditionally exclusive, gate-kept financial system and just blowing the doors wide open. So, with the very landscape of money changing this rapidly, bridging the local right to the global, my final question for you is this. What steps will you take to adapt, learn, and truly thrive in tomorrow's digital economy? Because the future of finance, it's already here. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you on the next one.